What's going on, family? Welcome to another day of Read Rich and Righteous. We are reading Rich and Righteous, Spiritual Secrets of Mastering Money, Manifestation in Your Mind. What's going on in this camera? Let me see here. Oh, sorry about this, y'all. All right, that's better. All right, cool. Welcome, everybody. We're reading Rich and Righteous, Spiritual Secrets of Mastering Money, Manifestation in Your Mind. We've been here for almost 2.5 months now. We started mid-November. Been reading about 4 to 8 pages every single day here at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Instagram and on YouTube. So happy to have you. So many of you have been with us since the beginning, and it's been an absolute blessing. All right. So we are going to continue our reading. Today we are on page 315. We are in the home stretch for the last 100 pages of the book. About 90 pages left to go. And that should probably get us through probably almost I think the last week of February. I thought it was going to take us till March when we started, but we've been pushing through, and it's been a beautiful journey going on this journey with you, attuning our mindset to a mindset of abundance every single day before we step out into the world and start serving other people. Today's section is on never work for money. Never work for money. Again, we're on page 315. Never work for money. So turn to that page if you already have the book. If you would like to get a copy of the book, you can go to moneyandmanifestation.com. That's moneyandmanifestation.com. That's where you can get a set of 5 books plus the rituals workbook, which is all the exercises that you see at the end of every chapter. And you can get the audiobook at moneyandmanifestation.com. For those of you who do not have a book yet, you can. For those of you who are in a temporary state of lack and you do not have $100, because yes, the set of 5 costs $100. I only sell it in sets of 5, and there's a specific reason I do that. Okay, there's a specific reason I do that. One, for givers to strengthen their giving, and for receivers to strengthen their receiving. So you get 1 book, okay, for yourself, and then 4 for you to give away to other people. The reason you're not receiving to the degree that you desire is because you're not giving to the level that you desire to receive. All the world's people, with the exception of those who have used manipulation, which is just a temporary tactic to gain, all of the world's most successful people are giving at a great level. They're giving opportunities, they're giving jobs, they're giving value, right? And so if you want to receive more, then you have to give more in the right way. I know a lot of you feel like you're burnt out, but you're giving. The reason you're burnt out is because you're giving in a way that is not in alignment with your purpose. That's why you feel burnt out. And in fact, that actually connects to today's chapter. So we are on page 315. Never work for money. I know you've been trained and programmed to work for money your entire life, but I'm going to change that mindset in you today. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. All right. So the scripture for the day is, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world but lose his soul? That's Mark 8:36. And we have quite a few pages. We got 8 pages to go today. So I'm gonna get into it. If you ask anyone, would you sell your soul? Most people would say never. How many of you would sell your soul? How many of you would sell your soul? Let me know. How many of you would sell your soul? If you ask anyone, would you sell your soul? Most people would say never, right? Yet many people sell their soul when they stay in a job that is not aligned with their purpose or an assignment en route to their purpose. So if you are not walking your purpose, or you don't see how your current work is actually moving you towards your purpose, then guess what you're doing, family? See, verbally, we say we would never sell our soul, but probably more than half of us right now are actually doing it. You are going to the corporate plantation today, and if that job is not in alignment with your purpose, or it's not an assignment that is en route to your purpose, then guess what, family? I just got to keep it 100 with you. You're selling your soul right now. But Jullien, unemployment is at an all-time high, and jobs are hard to get out here, and all this AI, etc. I'm gonna keep it real with you, y'all. I'm actually grateful for artificial intelligence. You want to know why? Because it's gonna take all the lower tier jobs that computers can do, and it's gonna force all of us to move towards our unique contribution, which is our purpose. Okay? I'm actually Now, is it going to be painful for some people who are not willing to change and not willing to go within to find out what makes them unique? What is their unique purpose and why they are actually here? What are you here to do that a computer can't do, family? What are you here to do that a computer cannot do? Until you can find that, it's going to be harder and harder and harder. So I celebrate the coming of AI, Chat GPT, because it's going to force you to find your unique contribution. The sooner you find that, family, the sooner you find that, the easier it's going to be for you to navigate the world. That's what it's actually forcing us to do, right? For instance, just real quick, when we had plumbing, when plumbing was an innovation, right? And people could get clean drinking water to their homes. Now I don't have to spend an hour of my day going down to the river with a bucket and bringing water back to my community, into my house. So now I can use that hour to focus on a higher level problem than figuring out how I'm going to get water to drink and to bathe in. So that's actually a good thing. This is what technology is forcing us to do, is forcing us to find our unique purpose. If I posted a job to scrub floors with a toothbrush for 40 years that you had to do yourself by hand, no outsourcing, automating, delegating, and I would pay you $50,000 per year, would you accept it? Would you accept it, family? If I posted a job to scrub floors with a toothbrush for 40 years, okay, and you got paid $50,000 a year, would you accept it? Would you accept it? All right, let me give you this. What about if I told you it was $100,000 a year? Would you accept it? Would you accept it if it was $100,000 a year? What if I told you it paid $250,000 per year to scrub floors with a toothbrush and you could not outsource it? Would you accept it? Some of y'all lying to my face right now. There we go. We got some honest people now. What if I told you it paid $1 million per year to scrub floors with a toothbrush? Would you accept it? Oh, now I'm starting to see some yeses. And now I see some people still lying. You ain't got to lie to kick it, family. You do not have to lie to kick it. At some point, most people would give in and say, yes, I accept. When you are aware that you are a child of God, your soul is not for sale. All money isn't good money. In fact, saying no. In fact, saying no to money is one of the most powerful things you can do to bring more good money into your life. You acknowledge that I don't work for money and I won't just do anything for money, attracts it to you by elevating your self-worth. I don't work for change, I work to create change. So if you said yes as I went up, you can have a number. There is a price that you would sell your soul for. I can't be bought, family. There's no amount of money that somebody could pay me to walk away from doing this work that I'm doing with you in the multifamily movement and to create the richest family in the world. There's no amount of money that somebody could pay me to walk away, to say, you can't do that purpose anymore. You can't talk about rich and righteous anymore. You can't lead people to closing on their first multifamily home. You can't do any of that anymore. You can't work on 100 dope men and 100 dope women. You can't do any of that anymore. There's no amount of money. Why? Because that's my God-given purpose. My soul is not for sale. And so till you get to a point in yourself where you realize that you're in your unique contribution, right? Many of you, your souls are for sale. There's a price tag. I don't care how high the price tag is. You have a price tag. I can't be bought, family. And I want to get you to a place where you can't be bought. You realize that you are priceless and there's no amount of money that can buy you to do something against yourself, your own will, your desires, your dreams, or your God. If your why for work is just money, you will likely always hate what you do. Everybody type, my soul is not for sale. My soul is not for sale. I'm just giving you a hypothetical situation. And some of you, no, I wouldn't do that for $1 million. And you're like, you be there just like Bubba Gump and Forrest Gump, just scrubbing the floor with the toothbrush. Now you're spending 40 hours a week for 40 years of your life doing something that diminishes your value and your contribution to the world. Okay? Anybody who daydreams on their day job is not living the American dream, no matter how much money they make. A recent Gallup poll showed that 85% of employees are emotionally disconnected from their work. People say they hate their job, but the truth is, y'all ready for the truth? Nobody hates their job. Nobody hates their job. You want to know what the truth is? They hate themselves for accepting less than they deserve and staying anyways. Nobody's holding you up at gunpoint. Nobody's holding you up at gunpoint to stay, family. You hate your job. You hate yourself for accepting and staying anyways. That's what you hate. But you want to externalize it and blame it on your employer, blame it on your boss, blame it on your colleagues, blame it on your college for not training you. You want to blame it outwardly when the reality is you hate yourself for accepting less than you deserve. The real reason people stay at jobs that they hate is because they don't believe they can command that amount of money pursuing their purpose as an employee pursuing their purpose as an employee elsewhere or as an entrepreneur. From a young age, we were programmed to seek a good job rather than God's purpose. And if you do know your purpose, finding a job that is aligned with it can be difficult. The American dream says to become a teacher, doctor, lawyer, engineer, or business person. If not, then you're nothing. There is nothing wrong with any of those careers. Some people were born to do those things. But if you weren't born to do it, you will die as you do it. If you weren't born to do it, you will die as you do it. If you weren't born to do it, you will die as you do it. There's no such thing as a good job you hate. If you weren't born to do it, you will die as you do it. There is no such thing as a good job that you hate. Oh, I got a good job. Why? Because the company name is known by other people, because it pays well, but I hate it. That's not a good job if you hate it. There's no such thing as a good job that you hate. I'm sorry, family. It's not a good job if you hate it. If you sit in a cubicle for too long, it will become your coffin. If you sit in a cubicle too long, it will become your coffin, and you will become the working dead. Your purpose is the only work that gives you life. Your purpose is the only work that will give you life. That's how you know you're in your God-given purpose. I get life from being here in front of you. I get life from teaching the multifamily movement students. I get life from trying to bring Black couples together. I get life from the work. Jullien, you work so hard. Well, this work energizes me. It doesn't deplete me. It energizes me. A job can pay you, but it can never fulfill you unless it aligns with your purpose. It can pay you, but it can't fulfill you. I'm not dissing jobs. I want that to be clear. I've had several jobs, but no job has ever had me. I've had several jobs, but no job has ever had me. I also have employees who I am grateful for. However, in the same way that Jesus knew he was not a carpenter, I knew that my jobs were apprenticeships or assignments in preparation for my purpose. People like, Jullien, stick to real estate, stick to real estate. You talking about this spiritual stuff, you don't know anything about that. You talking about love and relationships, stick to real estate. All right, so Jesus should have just stayed a carpenter. There's probably people out there telling Jesus, just stick to being a good carpenter. Stick to building furniture. Just be a good carpenter. You don't know anything about this spiritual stuff. You're not an ordained priest. Don't let anybody put you in a box, family. Don't let anybody put you in a box. However, in the same way that Jesus knew he was not a carpenter, I knew that my jobs were apprenticeships or assignments in preparation for my purpose. Each one gave me a vital skill that I needed to do what I am doing today. What is harmful is a world where so many people are out of alignment with their purpose. Our mindset around our employers as paternal figures that we are seeking to get approval from in exchange for an allowance, if we do good, is the issue. You've turned your daddy issues and your mama issues into your employer. Now your employer is your paternal figure, and you're doing your best to be good to please them so that you can get an allowance, which you call a salary. You are here to be about your mother, father, God's business, not your employer's business. You are here to be about your mother, father, God's business. You are giving everything God gave you, your gifts, time, creativity, ideas, to serve a job rather than God. And we know that one of the hardest books in the Bible to read is the story of Job. Story of Job, story of Job. Therefore, if the company you work for is not aligned with your purpose, no matter how much you get paid, how rare the opportunity is, how big the brand, how long your title, you will never feel free or fulfilled. God created you for a unique purpose that only you can do. In God's mind, you are irreplaceable, but most jobs are replaceable. If you died today, your job would be posted tomorrow. If you died today, your job would be posted tomorrow. If I died today, there's nobody that could replace me in this work that I do. Now, have I set up systems in this movement in a way that will allow the movement to continue forward, even if something were to happen to me? Yes. But if I died today, there's nobody who could fill my shoes because I am walking in my unique God-given purpose. We would look for my team would know to go find the closest, best thing in person to take over. But there's nobody who can do this the way that I do this. Dreams are being killed softly. Your window of opportunity is greater than the windows on your computer screen. Don't get boxed in by the cubicle or cornered by the corner office. No corporate ladder can reach your full potential. Killing me softly with his wage, killing my whole life with his wage, killing me softly. If you hate what you do, even if you make $250,000 per year, you will always feel underpaid. You realize that underpaid has nothing to do with how much you get paid? If you hate what you do, even if you make $250,000 a year, you will still feel underpaid. There's no amount of pay that will make up for the fact that you are spending your valuable time doing something you hate in exchange for money. There's no amount of pay. Oh, I got a pay increase, Jullien. I'm making $500,000 a year. And that's going to feel good for 3 months. And then right after that 3 months, you're going to feel underpaid again. Why? Because you know your time is the most valuable thing. You know you're still not walking in your God-given purpose. And in fact, that's why they call it the golden handcuffs, because the more they pay you, the more you feel trapped. Feeling underpaid at a job is about meaning, not money. The meaning that comes from living in your purpose can never be replaced by any amount of money. While many people complain that they are underpaid, the truth is that they actually feel overpaid. While many people complain that they are underpaid, the truth is that they actually feel overpaid. The overpaid trap is when an organization pays you more than you believe you're worth. They pay you more than you believe you're worth. If you truly felt underpaid, family, I'm just keeping it 100 with you today and every day, honestly. If you truly felt underpaid, you would leave. If you truly felt underpaid, you would leave. But when you feel overpaid, you stay even if the salary is low, because internally you feel that you are not worth more and can't get a better job. If you felt underpaid, you would leave. It's like dating someone you think is beautiful and thinking that you will never be able to catch someone like them again. So even if they start verbally or physically abusing you, you end up staying anyways because you don't believe that you could attract somebody like them again. You may be happier on your own for a time if you knew your true worth. For example, in a law firm, a lawyer may get paid $125 per hour, but the firm bills the clients at $300 per hour. $125 per hour is $250,000 per year, given a 40-hour work week for 50 weeks out of the year. So what happens to the other $175 per hour? What happens to the other $175 per hour? Let's say 100 of it goes to overhead, like the office building, non-profitable employees like secretaries and janitors, travel and technology, etc. 25 of the remaining 75 goes to taxes, and the last 50 is profit to the partners' pockets. The question is, what is stopping the lawyer currently being paid $125 per hour from stepping out on their own and claiming all $300 per hour for themselves? Obviously, the skills to do the work are there and someone is paying for it, but perhaps the lawyer lacks the confidence and the business acumen to go out there on their own. As a result, they are leaving money on the table. In this case, $175 per hour minus some overhead, which is more than double what they are being paid now. You realize that your employer has to profit off of you. That's the only way that they keep you hired, is that they profit off of your body, your time, and your energy. They pay you this, and they pay you something worth less than your time to get your time so that they can make more of this, so that they can buy more employees who are willing to give up their most valuable currency, which is inside of you. Remember, the most valuable currency is the God-given energy inside of you. But when you don't know that, you are willing to trade your time and your God-given energy for something that is worth less. This is how they're profiting. They're buying the God in you, and they're manipulating it into their vision and what they want. And you're allowing it. It's not them. I don't blame corporate America for anything. What if we all looked in the mirror and we blamed ourselves? Corporate America only exists because we allow it to exist, because we are willing to sell our God-given energy and sell out on our purpose in exchange for false security. Oh, it's corporate America. It's capitalism. It's the white man. When are you going to stop, family? Anytime you blame something outside of yourself, you are now trapped because you can't change something outside of yourself. The only thing that you can truly change is you. If you blame something outside of yourself, then you have to wait for it to change for you to have what you want. But if you truly understood how life works, when you change yourself, you can have whatever you want. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. It doesn't say be ye transformed by transforming somebody else. It says be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, not somebody else's mind. It's okay for a company to be earning more off of you as long as you are learning more on their time and their dime. An organization can only survive if it profits off of its employees. Like a widget being sold, the company has to profit from its employees, meaning that they are earning more off of that employee than they are paying them in the form of salary and benefits. If not, the business won't be profitable. From your side, you see your job as a full paid, from your side, see your job as a full paid scholarship, not as a path to retirement. Money is not the only currency that exists, yet it is the main measurement people use when considering careers. Remember, there are other forms of capital. Self-development is personal capital. Learning is intellectual capital. Networking is social capital. Can be more valuable than the money, the financial capital that you get. If you are only getting money from your job, then you are missing out on the other forms of capital. If you only work for money, you are missing out on some of the other most important forms of capital. All of my jobs prepared me for my purpose, but I went in there knowing that this was a full paid scholarship for me to learn some new skills that I would eventually need going forward. But why celebrate a raise at a job that makes you feel low? Why celebrate a raise at a job that makes you feel low? If you want a real raise, raise your consciousness or your mindset. And then your currency or money will have to correspond and catch up. Correspond. Okay. It has to respond to your elevation in wealth consciousness. It will catch up to you once you start elevating. Your currency has to catch up to your consciousness. Your net worth responds to your core, which is your self-worth, not the other way around. People think that, oh, I get paid more and then my self-worth is going to go up. No, your self-worth goes up first. And then guess what? You start getting paid more. You are worth what you accept, not what you expect. So you think you're worth more, family? You think you're worth more? No, you're not. You are worth what you are accepting right now. You're going to pay $100,000. You think you should be paid $150,000? It doesn't matter what you expect. You are worth what you accept. This is why saying no to money is one of the most powerful things that you can do, because you're saying that I am worth more than what you are offering me. Your offer is good and it may be good to you, and other people may jump at your offer, but I know that I am worth more. This also applies in the dating realm. You are worth what you accept. I know some of y'all don't want to hear that. No, he did this to me, and no, she did this to me. You are worth what you accept. You accepted them. You had the opportunity to say no, but you didn't. So you were getting what you deserved and what you thought you were worth. You thought that you could not have better. So you accepted them even when they did things that were out of alignment with what you desired. You're worth what you accept, not what you expect. For Jullien, in my situation, you were worth what you accept, not what you expect. You would never accept something less if you believe you could be, do, or have more. Whatever you are getting paid, you are accepting. For many people, there is a subconscious belief that says, I have to do something I hate to get what I want. That is the mentality of the rat race. But the truth is, I can do something I love that helps people get what they want, and in return, I get what I want. I can do something I love that helps people get what they want, and in return, I get what I want. Do you believe that? Do you believe that? If you truly believe that you are worth more, prove it. Prove it by going out into the world and commanding more instead of complaining. Command it instead of complain. You determine your value, not someone else. You determine your value, not someone else. Unless your job deceived you, or in the dating context, unless that man or that woman deceived you, and flat out lied about what you will be doing daily, it's not your job that you hate. The longer you stay in a job you hate, the more self-hate will grow inside of you. The longer you stay in a job you hate, the more self-hate will grow inside of you. Genesis 3:17 describes Adam's punishment for being out of alignment with God when it says, cursed is the ground because of you, therefore through painful toil you will eat food from it all the days of your life. Through painful toil. When you are out of alignment with God's will, you will undergo painful toil. And the pain is not there to hurt you. It is there to actually push you back to a feeling of pleasure. And the greatest pleasure is walking into being about your mother, father, God's business, doing the work of he and she, of it that sent you. That is the greatest pleasure. So pain, you may think pain is against you, but pain is really trying to steer you back to who you truly are. Anytime the Bible mentions ground, earth, or soil, metaphysically, it refers to our mind. This scripture is saying that the self-hate is inward, but its food will manifest outwardly as anger, alcoholism, stress, dis-ease, tiredness, road rage, etc. Stop blaming your unwillingness to keep learning, seeking, and growing on your employer. Stop blaming your unwillingness to keep learning, seeking, and growing on your employer. There is nothing wrong with the concept of a job except believing in the false sense of security that one thinks a job offers that keeps people from their purpose. They have more faith in a job than they do in God to be their consistent provider. Remember, your employer is not your source of income. God is the source of all. God is the source of all. Your employer, your job is one stream of income. Never confuse a stream with the source. Never confuse a stream with the source. In exchange for this false sense of security, they settle and sell their priceless time at wholesale prices instead of being paid for their purpose. You realize that y'all are selling your time at wholesale prices, like, Costco? Y'all selling your time at Costco wholesale prices. These employers like, oh, you're willing to give me 2,000 hours of your time for this discount? That's exactly what y'all are doing. You selling your time at wholesale prices. You selling your gifts at wholesale prices. Yeah, you can buy 2,000 of my hours this year for this amount of money. I'll give you a discount. If I was to charge for that a la carte, it would be this much. But since you're buying in bulk, I'm going to give you a 50% discount. We sell skills, not our souls. We sell skills, not our soul. We don't sell our soul by putting our future in the hands of a company. We sell our skills to companies or customers, but our life is in God's hands and we are God's hands on earth. Our life is in God's hands and we are God's hands on earth. God is expressing himself and doing his work through us. The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. They're not willing to work for me. They'd rather trust in this job, this employer, more than they trust in me. If they trusted in me, the harvest would be plentiful, but the laborers are few. There aren't many that are willing to put my will above their own will. And so they have to go through painful toil like Adam. We all have a God-given gift. We all have God-given gifts, but when we unwrap them, we notice that they are not in finished form. They come in raw form like Play-Doh or pieces like Legos. You asked for a house, but your gifts were brick and mortar. You asked for a house, but your gifts were brick and mortar, and you were mad. You asked for wealth, and you got creativity and crystal clear communication. It is our job to turn our gifts into skills that solve problems for others. Just because your gifts don't come in the finished form, it is up to you as an asset alchemist to put them together in something that can be presented to the world. Every job and company that is created to solve a problem for others, and there are specific skills needed to do that. If you took an employee's job away and asked them what their skills are, many wouldn't know what they are or how much those skills are worth today. Showing up every day is not a skill unless you are a traffic guard. Showing up every day is not a skill unless you are a traffic guard. Losing touch with the value of your skills and not developing new ones can cause you to stay stuck in a place you've outgrown. We live in what I call the entrepreneur reality. Entrepreneur reality. It's a new reality. That means that we are all already entrepreneurs. An employee is simply an entrepreneur with one big client, their employer. So everybody type, I am an entrepreneur. I don't own a company, right? But in the entrepreneur reality, that means that an employee is simply an entrepreneur with one big client. You are an entrepreneur. The problem is you only have one client, and that is your employer. And it is dangerous to only have one client, because that one client, if they pull the rug from under you, your whole life is in shambles. So I don't have an LLC, Jullien. I don't have a business. You have one client. That is your employer. As Jay-Z said, I'm not a businessman. I'm a business man. The 40/40 club is closed. Gone are the days of working for one employer 40 hours per week for 40 years. Employees stay at companies for healthcare when the job is what is making them sick. Oh, they have a good healthcare plan. That's why I'm there. Has it ever crossed your mind that it is you being at that job that is making you sick? The self-hate that is developing in you because you are not walking in your God-given purpose, that's what's making you sick. So you're staying for a healthcare plan when you are the one that are making yourself sick by staying in a job that is not in alignment with your God-given purpose. How backwards is that? Employees stay at companies for healthcare when the job is what is making them sick. And I actually need to reword that. It's the self-hate that is being developed from them staying at a job that they know it is not in alignment with their purpose. The job didn't do anything to you. You accepted the job. I need to put the mirror back on you. The job is not making you sick. It is the sickness and from the self-hate that is in you from knowing that you are not doing your God-given purpose. The job's not stressing you out. You are stressing you out. You are stressing you out by being out of alignment. Anytime you're out of alignment, when your wheels are out of alignment, you create stress on the actual tire. So you are creating the stress by being out of alignment. Family, with everything that I'm doing and creating in this world, guess where my stress level is? My stress level is at an all-time low. Stress is not based on how much you have to do or how much you're creating. It's not based on the load. It's based on whether you're in alignment or not in alignment. Not in alignment, the more stress you feel, the more not in alignment you must be. Stop blaming external things. They stay for security while the company plays off their insecurities. People stay for security while the company plays off their insecurities. No human being or entity created by a human being has power over you. No human being or entity created by another human being has power over you. I don't care how big the company is. I don't care how well known the brand is. It was created by another human being. So no other human being's creation can have power over you. I don't care how big it is. I don't care if it looks like Goliath or not. It has no power over you. It was created by another human being just like you. We never want our financial faucet to be controlled by another human being. Some people work hard for 40 hours per week for 40 years for limited income, but give up on their ideas with unlimited income potential after just 40 days and 40 no's. Listen to me. Some people work hard for 40 hours a week for 40 years for limited income where there's a cap on their income, but they give up on their ideas with unlimited income potential after 40 days or you're getting 40 no's. You didn't put 40 days into that idea and you gave up on it. You were making sales calls or you were reaching out and you got 40 no's and you gave up. But on the flip side, you've been working at this company 40 hours a week for 40 years and you didn't give up. Go to YouTube. A call came in. Go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. 1 second, y'all. I gotta get these Instagram folks over to YouTube. Go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. All right. 1 second, y'all. I gotta get these Instagram folks over to YouTube. Cancel. I had a phone call come in, and when I have a phone call come in, for some reason it cuts out the audio on Instagram. Go to YouTube. 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 All right. Sorry about that, y'all. Still haven't figured that one out. All right, cool. We're going to keep going in just a second. I'm going to restart, but I think folks are coming on over. Dang, we was in a groove. All right. All right, cool. Where are we? Where are we? All right, we're on page 320. Some people work hard for 40 hours per week for 40 years for limited income, but give up on their ideas with unlimited income potential after 40 days and 40 no's. Entrepreneurs are creators, just like God, the creator of all. When you see yourself as an entrepreneur, your perspective changes. First, you realize that you don't work for your employer, you work with your employer. I need you to make this distinction. I need you to make this distinction, family. Say, I don't work for my employer, I work with my employer. I need you to type that in. I need you to type that in. There's a distinction. It's subtle, but it's a huge mindset shift. I don't work for them, I work with them. See, when you're coming from it as an employee, you say, oh, I work for this company. But when you know that deep down inside, you're actually an entrepreneur and this is just your biggest client, you say, I work with them. It's a subtle yet powerful distinction in your language. It means that you are seeing the situation differently just based on that simple word change. You also realize that there is no leap into entrepreneurship because you already are one. Some of you have been afraid to jump into entrepreneurship, but the reality is you already are one. Even if you have a job, it should never be your only source of income. That's a huge part of the reason many people feel powerless at work and in life. No matter how much money you make, it's dangerous to only have one client. This is why I teach multiple streams of income. But we know that there's only one source, okay? But we have to create different avenues and channels for that source to pour into us. It can be your job. It could be multifamily real estate. It could be dividend paying stocks. It could be Forex. It could be crypto. It could be this side hustle over here, right? You have to create the stream and open it up so that you can see from the one source through those various avenues, okay? But don't spread yourself too thin because then you'll just be getting drizzles, okay? Why diversify your stocks but not the streams of income you use to buy stocks with? Everybody said, oh yeah, you need a diversified stock portfolio, but you only have one stream pouring into that diversified stock portfolio. Why would you diversify your stocks to mitigate risk, but you only have one stream here, which is extremely risky? You would have to diversify your streams. That's where your security would come from, right? If stability is the goal, what's more stable? A one-legged chair, a two-legged chair, a three-legged chair, or a four-legged chair? Unless you have a tree stump worth of income to support you, it is always better to have multiple income streams. Don't settle for a stable income. Stables are for animals, not human beings. Don't settle for a stable income. Stables are for animals, not human beings. They put horses in stables. There is a reason that the word job, which we use to describe our work, is the same word as Job, the most miserable book in the Bible. The longer you stay in there, the harder it will be for you to leave. Who would want to hire someone who knowingly sat in their own misery for years and didn't do anything about it? I'm going to repeat that. Who would want to hire someone who knowingly sat in their own misery for years and didn't do anything about it? I don't care how much you embellish on your resume, your vibration speaks volumes in an interview. I don't care how much you embellish on your resume. I just went through a hiring process. Okay. We hired 2 new people. I don't care how much you embellish on a resume. Your vibration speaks volumes in an interview. I can sense your vibration. I can sense your level of power. I can sense how high the currency is within you. It's not about the words that you pulled from the thesaurus. It's not about the words that you pulled from the thesaurus. I can sense your vibration. And that's what speaks volumes. That's what's going to cause me to make my decision. You're wondering why my resume, I got it professionally done. I went to all these great schools. None of that matters because I sense your vibration. You have a low self-esteem and low self-worth. You're unhappy. There are changes you wanted to make in your life, but you've been procrastinating. I can see it in your vibration. You can't hide behind your resume, family. You cannot hide behind your resume. Okay? No job is better or worse than another. I'm sure there are people who would love to be doing what you are doing and others who would hate it. Issues arise when the job isn't a fit for who you are. That's the only thing that makes a job bad, is that it is not a fit for who you are. Never choose a job to fit in. Choose it because it fits you within. So don't choose a job to fit in because your brothers and sisters are working at some prestigious companies, or because your classmates went and graduated and they're working at certain companies. That's choosing a job to fit in. You choose a job because it fits you within. It fits who you are. You are measuring them for fit in the same way that they are measuring you for fit. And hopefully there's alignment there. Listen to me. Who you are should define what you do. What you do shouldn't define who you are. Who you are should define what you do. What you do should not define who you are. Anyone not doing what they know they are meant to do is afraid to be who they are. But we tend to externalize the reason why we are not being who we know we are as a bad economy, my kids, mortgage, student loans, healthcare, a bad boss, etc. We want to externalize. This is why I'm not doing my purpose, Jullien. I got kids to feed. I got this mortgage to pay. I got these student loans. I need healthcare. No, just look in the mirror and say, I'm afraid to be who I was created to be. I need you to be honest. Those are excuses. Say, I'm afraid to walk in this world and show up as the unique being that I was created to be. Don't have enough faith to follow God at this moment in my life. My will is more important than God's will. Just say that. Stop making up all these excuses. For every external excuse, there's an external This is a gem. For every external excuse, there is a corresponding internal belief that needs to be addressed first. Victimhood will never get you to victory. Sympathy will never get you to success. Victimhood will never get you to victory, and sympathy will never get you to success. I encourage everyone with a job to interview annually. I don't care if you love the job or you hate it. I encourage you to interview annually, whether you love it or hate it, to test the market. This ritual will keep you sharp and remind you that you always have alternatives. Let's say you were in a job and you were just good at it and you just didn't think about another job for 10 years. But now it's time to exit. God is nudging you, right? Through pain or through situations that pop up. God is nudging you, but you don't move because you're like, dang, I've been here for 10 years. I don't even know how to interview anymore, right? My identity is wrapped up in this company. My relationships are wrapped up in this company. This, in our surveys for 100 dope men and 100 dope women, many people who are signing up, you know what they said? I've been out of the game. I don't know how to date anymore. And of course, the dating game has changed. So is the interview game. So I encourage you to get out there and interview annually, whether you're trying to leave or not, just to keep that muscle sharp. This ritual will keep you sharp and remind you that you always have alternatives. Interviewing is not cheating on your job because companies are rarely loyal and you are never married anyways. Interviews are not cheating on your job. In a relationship, yes, that's cheating, okay? But interviews are not cheating on your job because your job was never loyal to you anyways. Your job will cut you in 2.2 seconds. If you decide to stay, I encourage you to raise your consciousness in vibration in order to get a raise. When you don't know your true value, the subconscious thought that arises is, I just want to make enough to pay my bills. This is why some of y'all only make enough to pay your bills, because that's what you've been affirming over your life over and over and over. I just want to make enough to pay my bills. When you think like that, you are secretly or subconsciously setting a salary cap, and you only attract opportunities that will give you just enough to pay your bills. It's time to take off the salary cap, family. God has no salary cap except the one you set with your own limiting beliefs. If you are still breathing, or better yet, if God is still breathing through you, you still have work to do here on earth. And to God, you are priceless. I know some of y'all going to the plantation this morning, and I hope you go in there with a new attitude and a new approach. I want you to release your employer of all blame. I want you to release your boss of all blame. I want you to release your colleagues of all blame. And I need you to check yourself. I'm not asking you to quit your job, okay? I'm asking you to change your perspective about what that job means in your life and where it is placed. It is not your source of income. God is your source. It happens to be a stream. You also know that it is dangerous to only have one client. You are already an entrepreneur, but you only have one client, and that is dangerous. I also encourage you, if you've been out the game for a minute, I encourage you to go interview. Not to say that you're interviewing to leave, but I want you just to go test. How valuable are my skills? Can I still articulate my skills to the market? Have I been undervaluing myself by staying here? What if you actually go interview just for the fun of it and you realize that there's a job that will pay you 50% more to do the same thing or even less, or something that is more in alignment? So you should interview annually. Every January, just start interviewing just for the fun of it, just to see, just to keep that muscle sharp. Okay? You don't hate your job. The hate is self-hate for doing something that is not in alignment with your purpose and staying anyways, for accepting a salary that is below what you know you are truly worth. If you really believe that you are worth more, then prove it. You are worth what you have accepted. You can say, oh, yeah, I'm worth way more than this. My friends are getting paid this, this, and this. I'm worth way more. If you're worth way more, then prove it. Don't wait for somebody else to say, oh, yeah, you're worth it. I know you want that. And it's beautiful when other people see your value. But I need you to go prove it if you are truly worth more. The reason you haven't left is because you actually don't believe that you are worth more. And so the way to get a raise is by raising your consciousness, raising your awareness of who you are and your value in this world, the problems that you solve for other people and who you serve, and the unique skill sets that you've been given and the gifts that you've been given to solve those problems. Then you know your worth. Like I said before, I'm excited about AI because AI will take away all the lower level jobs that a computer can do. And it's going to force all of us to start walking on our God given purpose. We're going to have to know what our unique contribution to the world is. What is it that you contribute to the world that a computer cannot do? And if you can't answer that, then the future world is going to be a difficult one for you to navigate. You're going to have to rely on universal income where the government just pays you, perhaps pays you to do nothing. And some people think that that's a reward. But when you sit in nothingness, you die faster. You die faster because you're not being a contribution to anyone. They will pay you to sit. This is why welfare doesn't work. They are paying people to be less than what they are. They are paying people to stay small. They're paying people to not walk in their God-given purpose. They're paying people to die quickly. From a soul level, the body may last, but from a soul level, they are paying people to die. So with that, that concludes today's reading. We'll be back here tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be on page 323, and I'm going to share with you how to stop picking cotton. Okay? This money right here, this is 75% cotton. I'm going to teach you how to stop picking cotton tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're just joining us for the first time, I want to welcome you. This is Read Rich and Righteous. We're reading Rich and Righteous, Spiritual Secrets to Mastering Money, Manifestation, and Your Mind. If you would like a copy of the book, you can go to moneyandmanifestation.com. That's moneyandmanifestation.com. You get 5 copies for the price of one. If you go to Amazon right now, it's $100 for one copy. You can go to Amazon right now and find it. But if you go to moneyandmanifestation.com, I'll give you 5 copies, one for you, 4 for you to give away to other people. The reason I do that is to stimulate your personal economy by putting you in an immediate state of giving. All right. If you are in a temporary state of lack, and like, Jullien, I don't have $100. I'm literally at the end. I've run out. Then you can still get a book. I'm going to share with you how. The way to get a book is you go to our Facebook group. You go to our Facebook group at facebook.com, come on, /groups/rich and righteous. And there are literally people in there who have bought all 5 books, and they're looking for other people to give their books away to. So again, you don't ask from a place of neediness or poverty or victim consciousness. You ask from a place of genuine need. Hey, everybody. my name is such and such. You don't need to give any narrative. Oh, I'm a single mom. You don't need to get any backstory. Hey, I'm temporarily in a state of lack, but I know that this book will change my life. If anybody has an extra copy, I would love to receive one. I'm happy to cash app you $10 for shipping. And when I step into my state of abundance, I will pay it forward and do the exact same thing for someone else. That's how you ask. Don't ask, oh, I'm so broke out here in these streets. Can somebody give me a book, please? No, that's repelling energy. Okay. So that's a way to get a book for absolutely free. We have a whole economy and exchange going on in the Facebook group. So again, that's facebook.com/groups/rich and righteous. For those of you who have received your books and are ready to give, please make a post in the group. And those who are ready to receive or need to receive, comment under those posts. Okay. I've seen people go into the group and say, hey, does anybody have a book? That's not how you do it. The way you do it is you go scroll through the first 20 posts and you look for anybody who is willing to give first. Do that first. And then if you don't see anybody, then you can say, hey, I looked through the Facebook group. I don't see anybody. If somebody posts after me and is willing to give, I'm here. Okay. So that's how the exchange goes on. And it's a beautiful thing. We're teaching the giving muscle and the receiving muscle at the same time. You need both. As a child of God, you need both. As children of God, we have been overgivers. We've been overgivers. And if we want to give more, we have to learn how to receive more. So some of you are in a temporary state of lack because you have to learn how to receive. And then some of you have to learn how to become better givers. And so that's what this whole process and experiment is really all about. All right. So it's been a beautiful, beautiful day. Hey, before we head out, I see 391 people here on YouTube, 260 likes. If the last 130 of you can actually go in and just click the like button, that would be beautiful. That would allow this consciousness to spread to as many people as possible. With that, I'll see you tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Set a phone alarm if this has been a blessing to you, and I will see you then. All right. Much love, everybody. Peace.